Thank you, Larissa, for that beautiful music. And welcome to Unity Fort Worth. It's so nice to see your smiling faces today. Let's all stand up as we feel able and sing together. Today's first song is Love Is My Decision. Let's take a moment to say hello to one another. Say hello to someone you know, hello to someone you don't know. Wave at the folks watching on the cameras at home.
Come on down.
Okay, and you're welcome to be seated and be comfortable, and we're going to sing together Sacred Love.
Sacred love, sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, sacred love is all that you are. Show the way, God, show. A state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. Deepest joy is all that you are. You are deepest joy. Deepest joy is all that you are. such a holy place. You are blessed peace. Blessed peace is all that you are. You are blessed peace. Blessed peace is all that you are.
Thank you, music team. Good afternoon, and welcome to Unity Fort Worth, where our mission is to provide a safe space to experience spiritual growth and realize divine awakening. I'm Jessie, and I'm serving as your platform chair today. We are so glad you're here with us today, especially if you're joining us for the first time. Thank you for being a part of our community. If you haven't already gotten one, we have a welcome packet available for you at the welcome table in the lobby after service. And a special welcome as well to families with children. Our children's table is in the back of the sanctuary with quiet activities at the welcome table in the lobby. Oops, I skipped a line. With quiet activities to help little ones feel at home during the service. We are in the 4th week of our 5-week service in embodying Unity Fort Worth's core values in everyday life. Our value this week is loving, which we define as expressing unconditional love by accepting and loving people as they are. Here to help us dig into the courageous spiritual practice of truly unconditional love is Reverend Kelly Isola. Let's say hello to Kelly.
Hi, everyone.
I know we're looking forward to Reverend Kelly's message, but first, let's take a few moments to be in gratitude for our wonderful community. Lane's coming. I know she is. We are very grateful for Lane. She has to come from upstairs, so here she comes.
As usual, I'm late. By the way, if you tend to get cold in the wintertime, working in the tech team in the booth is the perfect job for you because it is hot up there. So if I'm sweating a little bit, that's why. I wanted to start by saying thank you to everyone who joined us online last week. We had an online-only service because it was icy and there was nobody getting here, whether they wanted to or not. Thank you. And so we had an online service, and it was awesome, and it was so nice to see everyone online, either in the comments or those who joined us in the Zoom room for the service or fellowship afterwards. We really appreciate you. I also want to thank our nominating committee, which is Georgia, Sarah, Sue, and Patty. They met for the first time this week after getting a late start due to some vacancies that were on the team that had to be filled first. And they'll be working over the next couple of weeks to put together a slate of candidates for board elections this year. We'll be having our annual membership meeting in April, on April 12th. And so they will look for the candidates for you to vote on during that annual membership meeting. And we are opening the nominating form up today, which Jessie will talk about later, so that'll be in the announcements a little bit later. But if you would, if you reflect on your service to Unity Fort Worth and you find that you would like to be part of the board and help make those big decisions, we would love for you to to fill out the form and put your hat in the ring. And that's all for the thank yous today. And now we have Peyton with the word.
That's better. Today's word is intention. The affirmation is, my intention is to act with love and kindness. Let's say that together. My intention is to act with love and kindness. Setting an intention, deciding to start the day to be loving, considerate, compassionate, colors all my interactions and activities. It's making a commitment to myself that no matter how the day unfolds, no matter what happens, and no matter what other people say or do, I'm going to remain steadfast. I begin with God. After a time of prayer and meditation, I envision divine love, opening my heart and kindness, inspiring my words. The sacred connection I feel in prayer elevates me above the cares and concerns of daily life. It makes it easier for me to be serene, unperturbed by any irritations I encounter. My intention is to carry the gifts of spiritual living with me always, my blessing to share. Today's scripture verse is from Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 24. I act with steadfast love, justice, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, says the Lord. The affirmation again is, my intention is to act with love and kindness. Together, my intention is to act with love and kindness.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, and there is no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I will never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue. I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love.
That was beautiful. And now, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you our guest speaker for today, Reverend Kelly Isola. Reverend Kelly is a one-of-a-kind force of nature, a genius with words, a brilliant thinker, and a professional excavator of individual and collective souls who is passionate about supporting people and organizations to live and love more authentically, to move toward a better version of themselves so they can make their mark on the world. She holds several certifications in leading-edge models of human and organizational development, focusing on how we create and relate to others, each other, and the world, as well as her specialty, the spiritual practice of conflict transformation through embodying paradox and polarity thinking. She's a Unity theologian and loves sharing her wisdom in the classroom as adjunct faculty for Unity Institute and Seminary and Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute. As an ordained minister, she's a master at creating transformative retreats, rituals, ceremonies, alternative services using music, storytelling, laughter, tears, and meditation as catalysts for spiritual transformation. Kelly is sought after as a captivating, funny, inspiring, and charismatic speaker and teacher. Kelly partners with faith communities and nonprofit organizations to move through times of change efficiently, effectively, and with sustainable results. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Kelly Isola.
Oh, I wanted her to keep talking. That was much more interesting. And then I thought, I need to get a shorter bio to you guys. Good morning, good afternoon, actually. I just realized, I remembered late last night that I needed to, I'm like, oh, wait, it's not morning, it's afternoon. So that was nice to remember. I love being able to see everybody. And I love, in the very back, there's this thing that says love, because that's the topic today, right? Unconditional love. Actually, what I'm talking about is unconditional love is not nice. And when I first, that first kind of came to me and I started playing with it, when I said out loud, unconditional love is not nice, the next thought was like, well, that's not very nice. Who says that unconditional love is not nice? And what I learned when I really took it in is that it's very true, and I'm going to unpack that for you. Why unconditional love is not nice. That it's really, unconditional love is a courageous spiritual practice when you're living in unsteady, challenging. Anybody feeling like the ground is doing this kind of on a regular basis? Yes, thank you. Whoever's in the gold sweater. Yes, I know I'm not alone. Yes, I see in the back the light blue sweater. Thank you. Yeah, that's what unconditional love is, a spiritual practice to move us through, times that are unsteady and challenging. And niceness isn't it. There's actually a nice lie. You can think of niceness as spiritual bubble wrap. Really. Because we kind of get wrapped up in it. We really enjoy niceness. Now, keep in mind, when I say we, I don't necessarily mean every single person. This is what I'm going to talk about today is really an invitation to check in with yourself. We all want to be the spiritual, oh yes, I'm above some of these things. But I'm really inviting you to take a closer look and to really kind of dive in a little bit. Like the idea of of niceness as spiritual bubble wrap. Niceness just kind of think about bubble wrap, what it does, right? And when you put bubble wrap around something, it's because you don't want it to break, right? So nice avoids discomfort. It keeps us light. It also keeps us quiet. Like if we just be nice. Just be nice. Anybody ever told that growing up? Just be nice to each other. Not kind, nice. Just be nice to each other. And then, of course, me, I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to. Um, and now I find, a few years later, why I said that. I didn't have the capacity to understand why I didn't want to be nice. But a lot of what we call love is really fixing or managing a situation or managing a person or trying to control outcomes so we don't feel anxious. We creatures, humans, we avoid discomfort, right? We don't want to feel unsettled. We don't want to feel uncomfortable. We don't want to feel anxious. And so we do whatever we can to make it go away. Like, who wants to feel uncomfortable? Who wants to feel, that uneasiness? Can't we just smooth this all? It's like, can't we all just get along and be nice? No. So if just think about this, if your love requires someone else to change so you can be at peace, it's not love, it's a transaction. Let me say that again. If your love requires someone else to change so you can be at peace, it's not love, it's a transaction. And I know when at first I was like, well, I don't do that. My love doesn't require someone else to change. And yet, if I stay with it long enough and I look at my interactions with people, there are times when I want you to be different so there can be peace. So things can be, a little bit quieter, right? It's a transaction then, but I think it's love. So here's how I define unconditional love. It's a courageous spiritual practice that's rooted in dignity rather than control. It doesn't require agreement. It doesn't require approval. It includes honesty, which isn't always easy, right? Just be nice. Like, don't be honest, just be nice. If you don't have anything nice to say to one another, don't say anything at all. Yeah, not helpful. But it includes unconditional love includes honesty. It includes boundaries, and and our willingness to let go of the need to change others. So what I'm talking about is really something that requires us to go a little bit deeper and a little bit more introspection. And I know, because I've said this to you guys before, and almost everywhere I go, some days I don't want to self-reflect anymore. That's the God's honest truth. And I'm sure I'm not alone with that. I'm sure there's a couple other people who are like, okay, do I really need to self-reflect today? I don't want to look at my defects. I don't really care about this. I know I'm not alone, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong when we have a moment of, I just don't want to do this. Where we get into trouble is where we go against it, but I'm supposed to, right? If I'm a spiritual being, I'm supposed to. There's no supposed to. Instead, it's notice that I don't feel like it. Notice that I don't want to do this. Notice that I don't want to self-reflect anymore. Notice that, no, my unconditional love is just fine. It's just about noticing the resistance. You don't have to change it. Seriously, you don't have to change it. Don't work smarter, not harder, right? So you don't have to change it. But once you notice it, then you can you take a breath and you go, okay. That's why unconditional love is a courageous spiritual practice. And I'm going to put in a shameless self-promotion plug right here. Is I have taken this talk and I've created a 40-day devotional practice that starts on Ash Wednesday. So you can call it a Lenten practice or not, but it's a spiritual practice for 40 days. And every day is just a little reflection, a little practice. And Lane is going to put out more about it in a newsletter, but it's to unpack this even more. So I created a theme for every week. There's a message every day, but they're short, right? Because I don't know about you, but I get enough emails. But it's a way to understand this courageous spiritual practice of unconditional love. And reframing it as spiritual strength. So spiritual strength is our capacity to stand undaunted in the midst of those shifting circumstances, right? And instead of kind of, run away, or from, Forrest Gump, run, Forrest, run. Instead, unconditional love is our spiritual strength, which is our capacity to stand undaunted. It doesn't mean we might not be afraid. It doesn't mean that we might not feel, a little uncertain about things, but to stand in the midst of shifting circumstances, which every day I think we have some shifts are bigger and smaller than others, but we're living on these tectonic plates that you don't know where they're going to go from day to day. And which, again, the goal is not to get them to stop, but rather build our spiritual strength to be in the shifting. So love is not enthusiasm. Love is not, right, you don't have to be enthusiastic about doing this, but love is not agreement. Love is a capacity, right? Love is not a feeling. Again, it's a spiritual strength. The ability to stay human when fear is trying to train us otherwise, right? That's the stand undaunted. Fear is trying to train you another way, right? The amygdala gets hooked. You ever heard I'm sure many of you have heard the amygdala, right? It's the little reptilian brain that the only thing it wants, the only thing the amygdala is looking for is safety and belonging. Well, when you're standing in shifting circumstances, what do you think are the two things you're probably not feeling? Safety and belonging. So the amygdala, we get hooked by it. Where's the safety? Where's the safety? And you just have to kind of wait like 30 seconds. And then you remember, oh, there's spiritual strength. Unconditional love is the spiritual strength. It's not a feeling. But that strength to stay human when fear, right, we've got the amygdala hook, is trying to make us be otherwise, right? So fear is very efficient, right? Lots of people get hooked and just kind of go. Fear organizes very quickly, right? You ever notice when people are when there's groups of people and people are afraid, they tend to, it happens pretty quickly, right? They glom onto each other, or the fear kind of spreads. It does. It organizes very quickly. And fear is not about conscience, having a conscience, or morals. So it's often something that what we call love can also be a measure of control, right? Like trying to rearrange the furniture in somebody else's house, or fixing someone who didn't ask to be fixed. I had, in the end of December, I had knee replacement surgery, and I had a friend that lives in Houston come and stay with me for 5 days to take care of me so I could be, as I got up and kept moving. And she likes to fix. And that doesn't work. That's like us, but we're really good friends. We love each other, and so I had to not constantly, but I had to consistently remind her that, like, if she would ask, do you want this or do you want that? And when I would say no, she would ask again. And then I had to so what part of no did you not understand? Right? I don't, or and training her that if I need help, I will ask you. And so she would see me kind of struggling to get, the pants on for the day. And if you've ever had knee replacement, getting your pants on goes a little bit slowly. The good leg works great. But she would see me struggling and she'd kind of rush in and bend down to her. I go, stop. Did you hear me ask for help? She goes, oh, no. Then stop and go away. Or just back up 3 feet and watch. So love doesn't trespass, right? And this is a thing I see in Unity often, where we consistently ask people if they want help, rather than allowing people to ask for help. Right? Our spiritual strength would be a whole lot stronger if we allowed each other to actually ask for the help. Right? So I know the next time you're standing there and it looks like somebody needs help and you're not offering, I guarantee you there's somebody else standing around like, how rude. She's not even asking if the person needs help. No, it's a spiritual practice to allow someone to build their strength. Learning to ask for help is a huge spiritual maturation for us. And it's we don't want to be fixing each other. I know you don't want to fix each other. I know you want to support each other. But it becomes managing each other because I want to soothe my own anxiety. Like my friend was getting, I could tell she was getting nervous. It was like her hands were doing this, like watching me try to get my pants on. And finally I said, okay, you need to leave the room because your anxiety is making me anxious, right? So managing and want it to go smooth and want it to be right, I totally understand. It comes from this place of caring, and it's not unconditional love. It's more, about soothing someone's, anxiety. So it's it, and it's so unconditional love, that spiritual practice, that spiritual strength is something that's learned, right? We don't want to reduce a human being to their worst sentence or to whatever they're is going on for them. We how many of you can raise your hand because I can see you. How many of you have ever heard, or maybe you said it yourself as a child, or you've had a child say to you, I hate you? If it was your child or your grandchild, come on, be honest. I got one person raising their hand. Thank you. Yes. Many of us have heard it. Some of us have said it. And hopefully we said it as a child. But we hear those words, hey, I hate you. And it's in the middle of a temper tantrum, right? And we don't take when it's a child, we don't take it literally, right? We look for the benevolent interpretation. Like, why is this child yelling, I hate you? Well, they're probably tired, right? They might be overwhelmed. Maybe it's past lunchtime and they're hungry. We instinctively go beyond the words, I hate you. But as adults, we don't do that, do we? We snap or we shut down or we say something sharp. Now, I don't necessarily hear a lot of adults saying to each other, I hate you, but things that are, similar. But we stop being generous. We were generous for the child, right? And we were willing to look beyond. We just instinctively went beyond the words. But we treat that moment when someone says something sharp like the whole truth of the person. And so unconditional love refuses to reduce that person to that worst moment. Does that make sense? Just remember when a child said, I hate you. Next time you hear an adult say something sharp, go beyond the words. That's unconditional love. That's that spiritual strength where we go, oh, yes, got it, got it, got it. Unconditional love lets go of that need to change others, which is generally when we hear something sharp from an adult, we may try to do. We may try to change rather than look beyond the words, employ our spiritual strength. Oh, that's what that is. But not go another step and try to fix them. Let them have whatever they're having, right? It doesn't need to, have immediate outcomes. It love trusts truth. Love it binds. Love binds by just the energy of it, almost like coercion. But I don't mean coercion like in how we usually mean it, which isn't in a very nice way, right? So releasing that rope, like that tug of war that's going on, that need to change others, because I need to not feel anxious, the need to change someone else's experience because I don't want to be anxious, because I don't want this energy between us, rather than remembering that unconditional love is the spiritual strength, right? Is being in the remember the tectonic plates I was talking about? Being able to just stand in that and remember that it is spiritual strength. It's not a feeling. One of my favorite people in the whole wide world, and I was so sad when he passed away, was former Congressman John Lewis. And he was called the conscience of Congress. He was from Georgia, representative from Georgia, and I always have this image in my mind of him because his father was a preacher. So he would, and he grew up, didn't have a lot, but they had a little farm. They had chickens, and so he would be in the backyard, throwing feed out and feeding the chickens and preaching to the chickens. So he was preaching love to the chickens. But he was called the conscience of Congress because he talked about love a lot. And it's hard to imagine these days, like someone's sitting in Congress talking about love, but he did. He said, anchor the eternity of love in your own soul. And when it's your time, don't be afraid to stand up and speak out against injustice. Anchor the eternity of love in your own soul. And when it's your time, don't be afraid to stand up and speak out against injustice. That's love. That's love. Unconditional love is not nice. It's brave. It tells the truth. It sets boundaries, right? And it refuses to let fear decide who deserves the dignity. Love refuses to let fear decide who deserves the dignity. If our love cannot survive honesty, it was never unconditional to begin with. That's why unconditional love is not nice. It has nothing to do with being nice. It has to do with honesty. It has to do with being brave, setting boundaries, not letting fear drive the boat. And that's why it's spiritual. It's not necessarily easy, and it's not a feeling. So kind of, ask yourself, where am I calling something love that's really fear of discomfort? What truth am I avoiding in the name of being nice? Like, just notice. I know, self-reflecting, but notice where, okay, I'm just going to be quiet and I'm just going to be nice, instead of being unconditional love. Love tells the truth. Sometimes love is messy. It's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be just flatline. It's not. It's a powerful force of humanity. So when we are practicing the spiritual practice of unconditional love, we're going to bump up against whatever is unlike it. So unconditional love is not meant to be smooth. That's our discomfort that wants things to be smooth, rather than being brave and telling the truth. Right? Spiritual strength is our capacity to stand undaunted in the midst of shifting circumstances. Unconditional love is not a feeling. Spiritual strength. It's your ability to remain human when fear is trying to train you otherwise. So it begins with us noticing. It's always about noticing. And then kind of going, okay, I noticed that. What am I going to do with that? It's not to notice so we can beat ourselves up about it. Or, if I was really a spiritual person, I wouldn't do that. That's not helpful. It's just not. I don't know what else to say about that. But that deprecating comments, or I should be somewhere else, or, well, I'm in unity, shouldn't I, blah, blah. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter if you're Buddhist or Jewish or Presbyterian. It's all the same. Unconditional love is a spiritual practice. love the full humanity of every person. That's hard. Think of every person, whether you actually know them or not. But unconditional love refuses fear as its guide. Unconditional love insists on the full humanity of every person, especially when it's inconvenient. Arg. I don't know about you, but I don't like being inconvenienced sometimes. But that's unconditional love. Unconditional love is not niceness, it's spiritual strength in action. So let's take that into meditation. You know, it was a lot of words. It can be a tricky thing, love, unconditional love, because there's tons of definitions. So let your feet rest on the floor. And just kind of shake your hands and arms out to just kind of loosen yourself. And let yourself sort of drop into the chair. Drop into the chair so you feel the weight of your body being supported. That the chair has got you. Notice your breath. You don't have to change it. Just notice the rise and the fall. And the inhale and the exhale. And allow yourself to arrive exactly as you are. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to change. You already belong. You're already loved. Just arrive exactly as you are. There's nothing to do. Nothing to fix. You already belong. You are already loved. And bring your attention to your chest. If you want, you can put your hand on your chest to help notice. Notice if there's any tightness or heaviness. Maybe there's some warmth or openness. If you feel a little guarded, just let that be okay. If you feel guarded, it's not a failure. If you feel uneasy, it's not a failure. If you're feeling uncertain, it's not a failure. It's just information. It's just information. Breathe in gently and breathe out slowly. Now, without judgment, just simply ask yourself, again, this is information. Where in my life am I calling something love when it is really fear of discomfort? Where in my life am I calling something love when it is really fear of discomfort? Or fear of conflict, or fear of letting go? You don't need an answer right away. Let images or sensations or words just arise. Information. But just stay with the question. Where in my life am I calling something love when it's really fear of discomfort? Now imagine holding a rope in your hands. And you can see at the other end of the rope is someone or something that you've been trying to fix, to manage, or change. Notice the effort in your arms, tension. At the other end of the rope is someone or something that you've been trying to fix, to manage, to change, even if it's just a little bit. But notice the effort in your arms. And when you're ready, just imagine loosening your grip, not in defeat, but in trust. Let the rope fall and feel what happens in your body when you stop pulling. Now silently repeat these words. I choose love without control. I choose truth without fear. I choose boundaries that honor life. I release the need to be nice. I open myself to being brave. Take one more slow breath in and a full breath out. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes when you're ready. And so it is, and so it is.
If love is why I'm here, let me be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. If love is why I'm here, let me be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. If love is why we're here, let us be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let us give and then receive.
What a blessing to have Reverend Kelly Isola with us today. Please join me in thanking her for being with us and sharing her message. While you enjoy, oh, there she is. While you enjoy the next song from our awesome music team, we invite you to contribute a love offering in support of our wonderful community. There are multiple ways to give. You can give a recurring or a one-time gift online or via text, or we have a love offering box on a table at the back of the sanctuary if you prefer to use cash or check. In whatever way you choose to share your gifts, we are so grateful for your generosity and support. Please hold them either physically or symbolically over your heart as we bless them and affirm our gifts. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful.
You know there's a light that glows by the front door. Don't forget the keys under the mat. When childhood stars shine, always stay humble and kind. Go to church 'cause your mama says to. Visit grandpa every chance that you can. It won't be wasted time. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. Don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, and here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Always stay humble and kind. Know the difference between sleeping with someone and sleeping with someone you love. I love you ain't no pickup line. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal and don't cheat and don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When those dreams you're dreaming come to you, or when the work you put in is realized, yeah, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. When it's hot, eat a root beer popsicle. Shut off the AC and roll those windows down. Let that summer sun shine. Always stay humble and kind. And don't take for granted the love this life gives you. When you get where you're going, don't forget, turn back around and help that next one in line. Always stay humble and kind.
We have a few announcements before we close out today's service. If you haven't yet had the chance, now's the time to reflect on your connection and commitment to Unity Fort Worth and express your desire to share 2026 with us as a member of Unity Fort Worth. If you have been a member in the past, you've already received an invitation to join from info@unityfortworth.org. Whether it's a yes or a no, please let us know your intentions for this year. We'll be wrapping up our season of belonging on February 9th, so please respond soon. Feel free to contact the office if you need any help. As Lane mentioned earlier, our nominating team has opened up the form for you to nominate yourself or another willing candidate to become part of our Board of Trustees and help guide Unity Fort Worth forward for the next few years. Use the link or the QR code on the screen to access the form. Our Getting to Know Unity class is after service today at 2:30. This 1-hour class is a great way to learn some history and basics about the Unity movement and Unity Fort Worth, and completing it means you're one step closer to becoming a new member at Unity Fort Worth, if that is your desire. Everyone is welcome. Enjoy fellowship for a few minutes and then join in. Next Sunday, February 8th, we'll have our second Sunday potluck. Bring a dish to share and gather with us for food, fun, and the celebration of February birthdays. Along with your dish and yourself, bring some ideas to get into the spirit of service, the core value we're studying next week. We're going to collect ideas for volunteer opportunities outside our walls, and then vote for a few to support together as a community. So be thinking through this week. Where are you willing and able to share? And finally, it's February, the month of love, and we are spreading the love this month with our annual service project, donating stuffed bears to support Cook's Children's Prayer Bear program. These bears are given to children who stay overnight at the hospital to provide a source of comfort during what can feel like a discomforting experience. For the whole month, we'll be selling bears online and in the lobby before and after each Sunday service for $10 each. So you don't even have to go out and find a bear to donate. We have them right here. And we'll be collecting the bears on stage each Sunday so we can see how our impact grows over time. So if you buy a bear, when you're done and you've written your loving message, we'd ask that you just put it up here on the stairs of the stage. To help infuse the bears with loving, healing energy, we encourage you to grab one or two from the collection on stage each Sunday and hug on them during service while holding the kids who will receive them in your mind and heart. Our goal this year is to donate more than 180 bears we gave last year, and we would so appreciate your partnership and generosity in making that goal a reality. That's all for today's announcements, and it's been such a gift having you with us today. We hope to connect with you in fellowship after service in the lobby. And please join us next Sunday at 1 p.m. as Reverend Eliza joins us virtually to lead us through our fifth and final core value in our series, Service. Discover how acts of service, big and small, become gateways to love, presence, and the unfolding of your highest potential. So until then, stay safe, be well, and have a wonderful and love-filled week. Now please rise to sing our peace song, followed by the prayer for protection.
Let me walk with my
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and I am.